Hey. Whoa, okay, so you actually don't start mining until 10 seconds in. That can be a problem, man. I suspect we're going to see you be 10 seconds behind on your worker count as well, maybe even more. So let's check by going to 6 minutes and checking for 24 workers. Nice low ground wall in, I like it. This depot seems a little early. I think you want all 4 racks before the depot. But whatever, no big deal. One, 6 minutes. So at 6 minutes we're supposed to be pushing with 17 existing Marines and 4 more being built and 24 workers. So you have 21 workers, you're 3 workers short, so this is just, you know, an invalid kind of game because you skipped the first 10 seconds, man. You were like AFK or something. And on top of that, your Marine count is 14 instead of 17, so you're 3 Marines behind, as well as being behind on the 4 additional Marines you should have been making. So, yeah, really lots of stuff missed here. Very bad. And it's important that you have the 17 Marines because it takes 10 Marines to successfully kill a single spine, and 15 if it gets transfused, and 17 is good, therefore. And don't look for his third. What are you doing? Go straight in and, like, dance at the edge of this spine so that he brings in his lings and then allows you to kill them. And more important than what you're doing at the front is what you're doing back home. Like I said, it's super crucial that you start your 1-1 upgrades at 8 minutes. That means putting 3 guys in these gas geysers on time. In order to start upgrades at 8 minutes, you need 200 gas at 8 minutes, which means you have to completely be mining gas out of both geysers starting at 7 minutes. And you're not, so you're not going to hit that benchmark. You also have to have started the engineering bays at 7 minutes and 20 seconds, and you haven't done that either. So, yeah, this is all kind of falling apart. So you lost all your troops without doing any damage. Never attack spine crawlers unless you dance just at the edge of them for a little while to make sure that he really has nothing there, and you have like 20 Marines in position at the edge of the spine crawler, and he doesn't have a transfusion available. So mostly when you poke with those Marines, what you're trying to do is bait out his lings and kill the lings. So you come in and attack and make it look like you're attacking, but really you back up and you go forward and backward and forward and backward. But more important than what you actually do at his base is that you forced him to make lings. You forced him to have only 37 workers at 9 minutes. So your opening worked. It did what it wanted to do. You didn't do it the best you could have done it, obviously. But you've succeeded in putting the Zerg really far behind on economy. He's only got 37 workers in 9 minutes. But putting him behind on economy is good, but if you put yourself behind on economy too, then it sometimes isn't worthwhile. You also got to be worried about doing a solid wall-in like this. It's important, see right there, so it's important that he has to use 11 banelings to get through your wall-in, right? So when you had all your racks in a row, it would have taken him 11 banelings to get in. But when you floated them to add reactor cores, you made this vulnerable spot right here where he can get in with only like 4 banelings. So that's bad. Don't do that. And you can make up for it if you want. If you want to get rid of one of these raxes in order to add reactors and stuff. Look at this too. Like with this setup, there's no way to exit your base. You're stuck inside your base forever, and you can't get out without floating a rax or whatever. And you never want to be floating a rax that was on a reactor core because that delays 2 Marines instead of delaying 1. So it's always better to float a rax. A naked rax with no add-on. So it looks like you're gonna do okay. You're gonna be fine. But now you have no racks, so immediately when someone kills some racks, you need to rebuild racks. So I would even take these workers and seal this off. Because what you want is for his reinforcements to bump into a wall and regret having come at all. So right now, immediately re-wall in and do it with racks. Come on, re-roll in with racks. Re-roll in, re-wall in. 1. Come on, faster, faster. There you go. Okay. Checking on the progress of yourself as if you were playing versus the very easy AI and we were only looking at the benchmarks that you were hitting. You need to have started 2-2 at 11 minutes in order to finish at 14. So you actually squeezed out 1-1 by 8 minutes somehow. You did okay there. But you don't have the armory, so you can't squeeze out 2-2 in time. You have to have finished Stim Pack by 12 minutes, and that's definitely not going to have happened. At 11 minutes, you should have 58 workers, and you have 37. Or no, you have 28. So just economically, you're completely screwed in this game. You did lose 9 workers. And you also delayed yourself by at least 3 workers early on, and you're also cutting workers, obviously, because you're being attacked, so it's kind of hard to benchmark when you get your butt kicked, but definitely way behind. So you needed the armor, you needed the starport, you needed to have started Stim long ago. For guidance, you should start Stim about 1 minute after you've started 1-1. So it needs to be started by 9 minutes. You are completely immune to this nonsense outside your base because, again, you have a thick wall in. Don't float that racks and don't float that racks and you should be happy. 12 minutes is usually the time at which you will have 72 workers, right? And you have 32, which is not 72. But if you theoretically did have 72 workers, then right now would be a good time to start adding additional racks. You want to go up to a production of 2 Marauders and 13 Marines every cycle. So this is 9 Marines. You need 4 more Marines to be able to come out. And you have no Marauders, so you need 2 more Marauders to be able to come out. So you'd probably need 4 more racks. 2 with Tech Labs and 2 with... Actually, you already have a Tech Lab racks. So 3 more racks, 1 with Tech Lab, 2 with Reactor Cores. And actually start making Marauders out of this racks. Marauders aren't important when he's Grangling Baneling. Marines are better than Marauders in every way. But if you don't make Marauders throughout the game, then it's hard to start switching into Marauder production later on when he does get stuff. Also, having Marauders occasionally means that sometimes he'll waste Banelings on them. This guy has shown himself to be willing to waste Banelings in a big way. Also... Marauders are good at killing infestors really quickly, and I don't know, I guess when a medevac is healing something, it's always better for the medevac to be healing a Marauder, just because they have more health and more armor. So Marauders are good in various weird little ways. So again, because your Wallen takes 11 Banelings to get through, that's this many, he's only going to have 2 Banelings left over. So you're still pretty safe from this Baneling bust. He's probably going to bust you, lose all his lings, and you know, just have wasted his time. I mean, if you look at this, it's 14 minutes in. He only has 52 workers. He's only has a 1900 income. So land that racks. Oh yeah, good job, nice. So you're doing quite well. That's a good patrol spread. This right here is a pretty bad clump, but overall you're going to eat up all these Banelings with just 2 Marines at a time, so he's going to get nothing done at all. Which is great, because if you'd hidden behind the wall and he would have killed several of your racks on his way in. Like he might have busted here and killed 3 of your racks again. Whereas when you come out to meet him, he ends up trading inefficiently, and so that was good use of your units. Unfortunately, again, you're contained on 2 bases and you can't get any money, and he luckily is not getting any money of his own, but he is getting a lot more than you. When's your medevacs coming out? So yeah, this game has strayed so far from the standard path that it might not be too worth looking into. Let's just lock to your camera and watch what you do. So obviously you're not going to be able to secure a 3rd until you get out here, but you should be able to get out here because he's going pretty army light. So here you go, you get out here, you're going to do a double drop, triple, quadruple drop at the same time as you take your 3rd, hopefully. Yeah, so you're morphing it into a PF, no. That was kind of bad as infestors caught your medevacs. So it was good that you used your medevacs to delay him, but you got two choices when you do a drop, right? You can actually drop, or you can stay out of range of his infestors. But that compromise where you drop at his front right here, that's just bad. Don't do that. I think you actually would have done really well to have just carpet bombed on top of actually dropped. So don't think of spore crawlers the same way you think of turrets. If he makes a spore crawler ring like this, you can still drop. You just have to make sure to fly past them because they won't kill a medevac even if it flies directly over them. So with these spines here, you might have wanted to carpet bomb from this area up to this area, so that you're in between buildings and you can't get very good ling surrounds, and you're spread out enough that infestors can't really get you. And at the same time, you stop mining at his main and probably kill his hive. Or you could just fly your medevacs away. But either way, it's, you know, you don't want to just die. Dying is bad. So he continues to have a massively bigger income than you. You have more workers than him, though, for some weird reason. You've done some harassment over here at his fourth, which is good. He's on his way to ultras, I think. Yeah, he's making ultras, which is honestly a bad idea from him. He's got 3 bases of gas geysers. Like, ultras are similar to infestors and broodlords. They're great with other stuff, but you can't just make ultras. It never is, you know, like if you don't have enough money for 200U, then don't make ultras or broodlords, or, you know, you can still make infestors, but not ultras or broodlords. So he kind of suicides his ultras and his infestors, which is terrible. You've done a lot of damage, a lot more than he has. You still are stuck on 2 bases. You're only mining from 1 mineral patch. You're basically dead at this point if you can't secure another base. So it's anytime your Zerg gets on tier 3, the end is nigh, man. You're about to be completely dead. So what you want to do is just doom drop or multi-pronged drop. Those are your 2 choices. You really want to get out there and be doing multiple drops. And the best way to take an expo, of course, also is to do multiple drops. Shutting down his 5th.
Upgrade complete.
Now you're mining and he's not. This is good for you. It's then this transition into ultras that really killed him, and suiciding all his infestors. He's got a much bigger army than you. You got a double PF in the front with your army all spread between PFs. He kind of surrounds it and kills it with ultras. And you're dead. That was close though. If you look at spending, he spent 25,000, you spent 16,000. Like you had such a terrible start that there was no way to really get back into it. But you did good things with the units you had. I think your big problem was just, again, the build, how you executed the build, and what units you ended up having, and you know what you did with your very, very earliest Marines and stuff. So yeah, get stims sooner. Get way more workers. Way more workers. You were way behind on economy from the very beginning of the game to the very end of the game because you cut workers. And it's really hard. It takes a lot of practice to be able to do an aggressive build that attacks your opponent while not missing workers and not missing depots and not missing production cycles. So, which is why I told you to practice the build before you took it to ladder. So, yeah. You basically just need more practice, but you have the right idea. You got the right general infrastructure and general unit composition, and you used your units pretty well. You just really needed way more money and faster stem and faster starport and faster armory. Not bad.